Thank you for joining the ACA Small Business Bootcamp and Resource Collective. Again, we're letting everybody load into the Zoom app. We will get started here shortly, so please hang tight and for another moment or two. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining the ACA Small Business Bootcamp and Resource Collective for this Thursday, October 1st. I can't believe it's October 1st already. Today's session is our 85th session. So two things: I can't believe we've done 85 and we're continuing to do more. And I can't believe it's October 1st already. But we are excited to be here today. We've got a great session planned for this Thursday. We want to first start by thanking, well, first, I'm Robert Theobald, Small Business Ombudsman and Vice President of Small Business Services here at the Arizona Commerce Authority, and I'm glad to be your host today and of this series. We want to thank our community partners. We could not do these sessions without their help and support. They've been great partners, providing content, expertise, their connections to others that have the content and expertise that are needed for these sessions. So we appreciate all that they have done. The Small Business Bootcamp and Resource Collective is designed to help small businesses as we work through the COVID crisis and return stronger. It is a statewide initiative supported by all of our community partners, as we mentioned, from all corners of the state. And the boot camp is going to continue on through December and into the new year. And we will continue updating the Resource Collective as our community partners provide us with additional tools and resources. So the Small Business Boot Camp, as I mentioned, today is our 85th session. All of those webinars can be found, recordings of them can be found on our website. And it's the same website you use to register for the event today. Our upcoming sessions are on there to register, and our previous sessions are archived by week. And you can go back and find those other sessions you may have missed out on or want to go back and review. Or as you look through them, you may see a topic that strikes your interest and you want to watch it. And you can watch the video and download the resources that presenter provided. Additionally, we have a Resource Collective that can be found on that page. The Resource Collective provides tools and resources from our community partners to help small businesses through this time. This is a sample list of those resources by our community partners, the guides and resources. So you can see that there's guides for manufacturing, construction, restaurants, salons, etc. Great tools. So quick note for next week's sessions, we've got some great sessions next week. We're continuing some of the holiday theme with the top 5 cybersecurity practices for small businesses. We're touching on this for the holiday because hopefully this holiday season, all of you have increased business and increased traffic on your websites and so forth. And cybersecurity is going to be a key part of that. So join us for that session. And then on October 8th, we're going to do an update of what we know now on the Paycheck Protection Program loan forgiveness. There may or may not be updates. It all depends on what happens in Washington, but we wanted a chance to get on there, do some updates on the forgiveness process, give you some time for some Q&A as well. We'll have Carrie Ann Todd again from Beach Fleischman sharing her expertise with us for that session. Some additional quick updates. Just a reminder of our Empowering Rural Communities webinars. They have a great session coming up next week, I believe it is. And additionally, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, still active. You can still apply if you have not, or based on the details of the program, if you applied and got a small loan from them previously, you may be able to contact your case manager, and there is a possibility of increasing that loan if you need to. So you may want to reach out to your case manager for that program. And then finally, for some of the local the city, county, and state financial resources that are out there for small businesses. You can find those all linked together on our financial resources page on our COVID-19 resources, business resources. You can also find information for COVID-19 on the state's website, arizonatogether.org. As I mentioned, for those financial resources for a small business, you can go to azcommerce.com/COVID-19. There's a ribbon on our homepage for this Arizona Business Resources page, and from there you can find the financial resources. So just a quick note of some of the programs. We've talked about these many times over the last many months. We have our small business services that can help small businesses working through the SBA, SBDC, the banking, other contacts throughout the community that may be able to help them out with their needs. Our workforce division can help small businesses looking to hire or upskill their employees with some of the programs they have. And then our manufacturing extension partnership, Arizona MEP, can work with manufacturers out there to help them grow and strengthen their businesses. And then finally, for the ACA resources, we have our small business checklist. This is a great resource if you're looking to start a new business, or if you're looking to pivot your product line into a new industry. You can use this checklist to identify the local, state, and federal licensing, registration, compliance requirements for your business. So we want to introduce our speaker today, Giselle Aguiar. She's the founder of AZ Social Media Wiz. She does lots of work with SCORE Greater Phoenix. And we're excited to have her on today. So Giselle, I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to you and let you share your screen and get started.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I gotta move stuff around here. Hold on one second. Okay. Well, I want to thank the Arizona Commerce Authority and SCORE Greater Phoenix for the opportunity to present this for you, for having me here. My company is AZ Social Media Wiz. I started in 2011, but I've been doing internet marketing since 1995. Before that, I started out my career in retailing in the 70s and then switched to the hospitality industry. I also spent many years in print publishing and selling advertising. So marketing is in my blood. 2020 so far has been the infamous word unprecedented. Okay, that's the phrase of the year, as will be this holiday selling and shopping season. The COVID-19 pandemic has changed how people shop, and it will change the 2020 holiday selling season. Forget Black Friday, forget Cyber Monday, think Cyber October. Shopping is going to be starting now already. If you haven't planned, this is a good place to be, because I'll show you what you need to do and how you need to just get ready for this. In 2020 altogether, we've seen an increase in social media usage. Membership and hours spent are all up. People are using social media networks more to connect with family, friends, and colleagues. Many of them have adapted new features to help both users and businesses during the pandemic. And I'm going to show you what you need to do to get a piece of the pie. Well, Google still owns search. Like Google or not, they still own search. They have over 89% of all search in North America. Google's goal is to give the searcher exactly what they're searching for. And Google still wants fresh, relevant content for the human reader in natural language. And that gives you search engine optimization, or SEO. And I'm going to be talking a lot about that. Search has also gotten smarter. It now figures out the context and the intent behind the search term, or it tries to. That's why you see people also searched for, and it's anticipating what you may be interested in. And you see that in e-commerce sites like Amazon. And you'll also see, like if you were looking at a website and then you're in YouTube or Facebook, you'll start seeing advertisements for what you were looking at. And that's all part of the AI, artificial intelligence, which is kind of creepy, but that's what it is. So we need to think like the searcher. What are they gonna, the consumer is in control. What are they gonna enter into the search box to find you? What are they searching for? How will they find you? What comes up in search? You have your website. You're gonna have impulse buyers. There's gonna be, and I'm gonna talk about also, you could set up your stores on the social media networks themselves. So the buyers don't even need to go to your website. They can buy directly from Facebook or Instagram or Pinterest. You have blog, video, pictures. That's content. That's answering questions. It's educating your target market, your consumer. And then social media is where you do your promotions, both paid and organic, which is non-paid. And what you need to do is put yourself in their shoes. And what are their pain points? What are their problems have changed? And think of the gift giver, not the end user. So you're marketing now to the gift giver now for the holidays and not the end user. People buy from whom they know and trust, and all this effort is to build trust and credibility. And we know that today's world, a reputation can be lost in seconds. Credibility is the most important aspect of your business that you can build. And how do you do that? By participating, being active on the social networks. You want to create social proof, and you do that with reviews, with comments, followers, likes, relevant posts. And something else that's not here, but I mentioned it later on too, it's user-generated content. So if you're selling, t-shirts or clothing or jewelry, you want your happy camper customers to take pictures of themselves wearing your stuff or using your stuff or at your place of business. And then they're posting it on their social media. So there you get the extra reach from their friends, not just from what you're posting. And another thing is being honest and transparent, full disclosures. And I hate to say it, but promises made, promises kept. And we'll talk about this in a little bit, go into detail in that. But all of this, especially when it comes to fulfillment, shipping, costs, everything, returns, I mentioned that too. All that has to be determined and configured ahead of time. So, but before you start doing anything, you have to clearly define your target market niche. And you can have more than one target audience, obviously. You also now need to think of the gift giver, not the end user. So if you sell women's jewelry, your target market is now going to be the husband, boyfriend, or father. Remember I had a jewelry designer that came to me, I think in 2012, and the first week in December, with nothing set up. So by the time I set up all her social media and I got her blogging and we got her, all her stuff set up on her in her e-commerce site, she's asking me now, do you think I'll get any customers for Christmas? And I'm like, and we're a week away from Christmas and you don't even have a following yet, so you've got to, think ahead. In 2012, Pinterest had just opened to the public. The users at that time were 90% women, and the hot items were cupcakes, babies, and bridal. Though we did push some of her pieces for the bridal market, she still had no results even for Valentine's Day. That's why the research is so important. And again, that changes regularly. Last year, we had no idea what was going to happen in 2020. Everybody planned for 2020, but, this pandemic came and everything was, thrown up in the air. So you've defined your gift giver. So learn as much as you can about them. You probably know a lot about your end user, but again, think of the gift giver. Which social networks do they frequent the most? The networks have changed. Pinterest is now 70% women. Okay. What devices do they prefer? Some, digital marketing people out there still tout that people use mobile first. However, what I've also seen is since more people are at home, they are using their desktop or laptop computers rather than their phones to shop. So that has shifted a little bit. What are their buying habits? Are they people that are going to research and compare all over the place, or are they the impulse buyer? They see what they like and they want it right then and there. So you need to know this. Be prepared for all of them. What's your industry's economic outlook? I was just doing some research for a client and I'm like, uncertainty. Like, wonderful. How can you plan for uncertainty? And so it's like, but you gotta do this research. You gotta know this stuff. Then, of course, your demographic and local information. So, and most of this data is available free online. But one thing too is you want to make sure that you've got, how are you going to get your inventory? If you're, depends on what type of e-commerce site you are. If you are a craftsman or a designer and you're creating your own, you create your own merchandise to sell, then you are your own supplier, you're okay. But you also need supplies. In fact, if you go into the SCORE website and you click the greaterphoenix.score.org and click on blog, you'll see maybe about the third or fourth article down, I did a real investigative piece on the supply chain. Because it's like, well, okay, I was talking to a gal that makes candles. She can't get glass jars. Well, you kind of sort of need the glass jars so she can make the candles. I talked to one of my coaching clients is she inventories her jewelry. So she buys from suppliers and she keeps it in stocks and ships from home. So she's got a supplier in Canada. He's having trouble getting stuff because he gets them from other places, so you've got to have all this checked on before you even put out your first post. You have to make sure everything. And then security. The good thing that they're doing a cybersecurity thing, because that's huge right now too. There are more people online, and so are the hackers, unfortunately. And the other question is, how has COVID-19 affected them? Okay, what are they doing different? So that's you got to put that into consideration now. And you got to know who your competition is. Who are you up against? So before you start doing anything, you need to do a little research on your competition. What are your competitors doing online? Who are you up against? How many followers do they have? How often are they blogging and posting? Are they doing paid advertising? Where do they come up in Google search compared to you for major keywords and phrases? You want to look at the bottom 3 on the results page and see how often they're blogging, how active they are on social media, how many followers do they have. You can knock them off the first page by just doing more than what they are doing. For instance, if they haven't posted on social media in a while, as soon as you start posting daily, frequently, in fact, several times a day, you'll have an edge. If they haven't blogged in a few months, you start blogging 2 to 3 times a week and watch how you bump them off the first page. But be aware too that you're not just competing against your direct competition, you're competing for your target market's attention among a lot of other content out there. There is a lot of noise. So you need to stand out among the crowd. Another thing to research are what hashtags your competition is using. I'll talk about hashtags in a little bit. Look for generic ones that also apply to you. Also look into how your competition is shipping. What are their special offers? Do you see their ads already? Okay, because that's one thing. So you've got to look for it. You've got to do this. Next, you want some SMART goal setting, and the people at the ACA, people at SCORE, they can help you to set these. So a SMART goal is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. For instance, if you're just starting out on Twitter, a SMART goal might be 100 Twitter followers in 30 days. Now, getting 1,000 Twitter followers in 1 month isn't really attainable or realistic unless you're working with a celebrity, and that kind of costs money. Another goal would be increasing sales by a specific amount. Look at your website analytics to see how many visits to your website, then set a goal to increase that by a reasonable amount by the end of at the end of each month. Now, because we're on top of the holiday season, obviously you want to have an idea of how much you're going to sell, what your goals are for selling, for the holidays. So you're going to want to set those, but again, be realistic about them. You've done the basics of defining your target, researching it and the competition, and setting SMART goals. Now it's time to look at the social media. So choose the right networks. If you're B2C, that's business to consumer, it's Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest as your primary networks. But don't forget LinkedIn and Twitter. Their users are consumers too, and they tend to be a little bit more sophisticated. And of course, you've got the younger generation on Snapchat, and everyone's on YouTube. You know, so I'm gonna go over the major networks. And I've been in Arizona since 2005, and the first job I got here was selling cars, believe it or not. And when I started my business in 2011, I started doing classes, and people couldn't grasp the idea how each network was different. So I'm thinking, each network drives differently. So let's go on a little road trip here. Each network has its own culture and audience, and I'll dig deeper into each, but here's a quick overview. So Twitter, it's like the sports car. It's fast, it's newsy, it's life in 280 characters or less. And yes, it's gotten very political, but don't write it off yet. And then there's Parler. It's the new kid on the block where the conservatives have fled to because Twitter's been blocking them. Okay, we're not going to get into politics, but Parler touts free speech and no censoring. LinkedIn is the luxury sedan, professional, classy, no fooling around. So you may think this is more B2B, and it is, but LinkedIn users are sophisticated consumers. Pinterest is the minivan, 70% women, half of them have kids. YouTube, Instagram, and Snapchat are like the convertible. They are media channels to get exposure. People who drive convertibles are hip and want to be seen. And Facebook is the crossover, about 60% business to consumer, 40% business to business. So let's dig into these, and we'll start with the big one first. Facebook, the largest social network, with almost 2 billion users, over 1 billion active users log on daily. So it's where the people are. Like it or not, people are using it to connect now with their family and their friends and so forth, and keep up with what's going on. So Facebook offers the opportunity to sell directly on the platform, and I mentioned this before. Now, as you're setting up, you get a choice of how you want customers to complete their purchase or pay for what they're purchasing. So you can decide if you want it to go to your website shopping cart or check out on Instagram or Facebook, and you've got to go through their system, which is probably similar like to PayPal or Square or something like that. They're going to want a fee and so forth. Direct message is another option. So they get a messenger message, and they can enter their credit card in that. And to set up your shop, you go to facebook.com/commerce_manager, and they've got a great help system in there. You can go in and take a look at and ask questions, and everything that you need to know, it's there, and it's pretty easy. The next step, or if you don't want, if you are on like Shopify, BigCommerce, Etsy, or one of those, Facebook is partnered with most of these, so you can connect it directly to your Facebook page or your shop, and it'll connect right to it. And then if you've got a developer somewhere in your network that can actually set up a custom shop, you can do that too. They give you that option. So whichever works for you, but I highly recommend it because Facebook is where the people are. And they're touting this too. So if you set up your shop on Facebook, you are going to get more reach. But do it like today. Don't wait much longer, because Facebook is competing with Amazon. Okay, and we're going to talk about Walmart too. That's another competitor. We'll talk about that one too. So if you have a local brick and mortar, you are location to Google. So this is Google My Business, business.google.com to set up your business. And your location will come up in Google Maps, both on desktop and mobile searches. And you set up your Google account. You'll need a Gmail address helps, or you can use your regular email address. You should really have a business email address separate from your personal one. So I recommend that you do that. Your business will need to be verified local, and Google will send you a postcard with a PIN number, and enter that number on your account when you get it. And I just redid mine because I moved. It had an old address, and in my Google My Business, I got it in 3 days. So they've sped that process up. But what happens if, I work from home, if you're an e-commerce site or work from home, you can keep your location hidden. Otherwise, people will be knocking at your door. Or if you have a PO box I don't know if they take PO boxes. I don't know. I don't know about that. If you have a PO box, you might want to check on that. But it's okay to put your home address, because this is just for Google to verify that you are a real business. So this is what a Google My Business dashboard looks like. And once you're verified, you'll get a blue check mark. This is from one of my clients who has a rage room in Tempe, and you go in and break stuff. He opened, it'll be 3 years November. And then you can also do posts to Google My Business. It's similar to the posts on, on Facebook, but you've got to do it manually. There's not many ways that it's not social media, but Google likes when you post on here, and it gives you extra exposure when you do. So here's an example of a post that I did for Simply Smashing, because since the open in November, we're saying, okay, let's do gift cards. Use a graphic. I like canva.com, canva.com, to create free graphics. And you can add a call to action button, which links to your website. And by the way, according to a recent study from Visa, 33% of consumers plan to give more digital gift cards compared to previous years. So make sure you've got this option set up. Now, Facebook has the ability to do gift certificates, so does Square. And so check with Cabbage is another one that has the ability to do gift certificates. Because people don't know what people want or like or anything, so they'll go with the gift certificate. So you want to make sure you've got this option available. YouTube, the second largest search engine next to its parent, Google. So people prefer to watch a video than read a page of text. Video converts more than static web pages. How to is the most searched for phrase. So keep in mind, for marketing, nobody beats YouTube in its connection to Google. Your channel must be optimized with complete keyword-centric descriptions and hashtags. Each video has to be optimized so it will come up in related suggestions to viewers. This is crucial, and this is not a time to be lazy. I'm going to throw a few statistics here out, some data from YouTube. People upload 500 hours of video every minute. Each visitor spends over 11 minutes per day on YouTube on average. 70% of what people watch on YouTube is determined by its recommendation algorithm. So, and I was working on a project a couple of months ago, and I was searching for videos with certain topics, and then I would see on the side videos coming up, you might be interested in this. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And amazing how this algorithm works. So that's why it's crucial to make sure that everything on YouTube is optimized with keywords and descriptions, because that's how all this stuff works. And each visit to YouTube involves 6.5 page views on average. So people are looking for stuff. Now, I'm talking about regular videos that you can record on your smartphone, your tablet, on your computer, of your products and that thing. Now, YouTube also offers advertising. So this is separate, because I'm talking organic, that it doesn't cost you money, but we'll talk about paid advertising soon. Okay, LinkedIn is the largest professional network with over 700 million members in over 200 countries. LinkedIn is great for building credibility as an expert in your field. It is more B2B, but LinkedIn users are consumers too. And LinkedIn has two aspects that people confuse a lot. So the white pages are individual people listings, kind of like your resume. And then the yellow pages are company listings. So your personal profile, the white pages, should have a professional looking headshot and have all the sections complete, making you an all-star. This is like the Chamber of Commerce. So if you don't have your picture on there, it's like going into a Chamber of Commerce networking event with a bag over your head, okay? This is where you connect with people. on LinkedIn, people connect with people and people follow companies. And I'll get to companies in a minute. But you want to make sure you filled out everything in your profile. All of the sections are complete and you're going to become an all-star. Okay. This is a sample of Scores. Well, this is Score Phoenix LinkedIn page. So it's called the company profile or company business page. And again, it's like the yellow pages. And what's important that you keep them, you have one of each, is because people search for businesses for certain type of thing. And they can choose people or companies in their searches. So you're going to be one or the other. You're not going to be in both. Now, if somebody's in your personal profile and clicks on your job experience, it should connect to your business page. And you are publicly linked to your company page as an employee. And LinkedIn has groups, as does Facebook, which are a great place to network. And there's a group for every interest and industry out there. LinkedIn rolled out a new featured feature for your personal profile. So you can link to a video, a blog post, upload a PDF, file, slideshow, and this provides extra exposure. It's kind of, putting stuff, this shows up on the top of your personal profile. On the business pages, you can pin or stick a post to the top of the page. So if you're doing a special promotion, you can do that. And I'll show you how to do that, that you can do that on Twitter also. In fact, here we go to Twitter. News no longer breaks in tweets. So if you want to know what people are talking about right now, you go to Twitter. So it's a never-ending news ticker. And tweets come up in Google search based on keywords. So it's important. So if you want exposure in SEO, you need to tweet daily. And you can easily do 10 to 20 tweets a day. Doesn't move so fast. There's a free tool called TweetDeck, which is made by Twitter for Twitter, and you can schedule out posts throughout the day and post eye-catching pictures and short videos directly to Twitter for exposure. Don't auto share from Facebook or Instagram. A lot of people do this. I see this all the time. You think it's a time saver, but on Twitter, all that appears is a link, not the graphic. And graphics are more eye-catching. So this is an example of a pinned tweet from one of my clients. It's a promo tweet. It sticks to the top of the profile page. So I'll talk about hashtags in a minute. Pinning a post is something you can also do on Facebook and LinkedIn. So when you're kicking off your holiday sale, you're going to want to do this. Excuse me. At any time of the day, you can log on to Twitter and see what thousands of people are talking about or what's trending. Okay, sometimes trends on Twitter may seem stupid. Sometimes it's breaking news, but sometimes they give you a gift and you can ride on the trend's coattails for exposure. However, always check to see why something is trending to make sure that it's not some crisis or breaking news story. So don't use an irrelevant hashtag just to get exposure. That's spamming. And I see that a lot. I see somebody posting every single trending hashtag in a tweet just so they get exposure, and that's just wrong. That's bad etiquette. You don't want to do that. And there are certain hashtags that trend each week. Now, on my website, I post at the end of every month what's going to be trending in that month, because we have observance days and holidays and awareness days. Like yesterday, I had no idea, was International Podcast Day. Somehow that it wasn't in the calendars that I use, and I totally missed it, so but I caught it in time, and I shared my article on how, if you want to start podcasting, what you need to do. But they're Monday motivation, Tuesday thoughts, today was Thursday thoughts, Wednesday wisdom, Friday feeling, Saturday morning. These trend every morning. Why, how, who started this? I have no idea. But people are posting stuff on it. I take advantage all the time of these trending hashtags, and I plan in advance. Like I'll schedule stuff for the next day, the night before, and you can also do it. You can schedule stuff on, if you have time Friday afternoon, schedule stuff up for the next day. Usually these trend in the mornings. And again, based on where your target market is, if you're in the US or if you're local, you got to keep that in mind with the time differences. And right after Halloween, we get off of daylight savings time and we're back on Mountain Standard Time here in Arizona or wherever you're watching. So keep that in mind when you're posting as to when your target market is on. Okay, hashtags. Okay, so a hashtag is the # in front of a word or a phrase that makes it clickable and searchable. So if you click on a hashtag, all the posts with that hashtag come up. They only use letters and numbers and are not case sensitive. And you can't do numbers by themselves. They don't work. Like you can't just do hashtag 2020. You have to do hashtag 2020 holidays or hashtag 2020 election or whatever it is. If you put the number first, it won't work until you add a word in there. But the idea is to use them consistently and have a strategy, especially for your major keywords and for events. For instance, in this post, we were, this is my chiropractor, and so we were promoting his Whole Life 180, the weight loss program. So, I created these graphics. I created this graphic on Canva. I put his logo on there, his location, because he's a brick and mortar, obviously, his website, and the hashtag. So then I shared somebody else's posts on his thing with that same hashtag. So if somebody clicks on Whole Life 180 on this post, all of his posts will come up, including the promo posts. So that's the idea of using hashtags consistently, and they work on all of the networks. YouTube was the last one to adopt them, but they do work on YouTube also. And it's okay to use the hashtags are exact. What I mean by that is it's okay to use hashtag healthy living and hashtag living healthy. Okay, it's the same words, but switched around, but the hashtag is exact. On Facebook and Instagram, you are limited to 30 hashtags. On Twitter, you're limited to 280 characters. Usually 2 or 3 hashtags on Twitter is okay. Some people use more if they have the space. It's not like no one's gonna click on it if you've got too many hashtags. But don't hashtag every single word. I've seen that people do hashtag, in a sentence, they hashtag and, with. No. Just hashtag your major keywords, okay? Like health or, hashtag Phoenix if you're local. That's those are your important keywords. You don't hashtag every single word in a sentence. That's you're not supposed to do that. All right, Pinterest.
Hey,
I'm amazed.
Real quick, since you were talking about hashtags, we had a question popped up that ties in with that as well. It said, what hashtag is taken?
See, hashtags are not trademark. You can't trademark a hashtag, but it depends on who it is. So that's why, you can use, like Whole Life 180, I'm seeing that being used by other people also, but I'll still use it from my chiropractor. Because that's the name of his program. So it's kind of, it's not exclusive. You can't have an exclusive hashtag. There's, again, it depends. And don't use just that one, but use other stuff, like hashtag jewelry, if you're selling jewelry, or hashtag gifts for women, or gifts for kids, or gifts for men, that kind of thing. Those are going to be used elsewhere also. One of my clients was doing like Grow Hope or something like that. And then another nonprofit was using the same hashtag. And so we used it in something and it pulled that up, and I'm like, it's too generic, so we need to, use a hashtag that's more exclusive to your business. So again, that's part of the research of what you need to do, but there's not much you can do about it if somebody already is using your hashtag. It just depends on, you know, what kind of, if they're your, there's straight direct competitor, then you're gonna have to figure out something else. Okay, Pinterest. Over 400 million people visit Pinterest monthly. Pinterest users are very much in the mode of planning how they're going to spend their money. People use Pinterest to plan as well as to find specific things they want or need. It's considered a search engine rather than a social media site. And it's perfect for the gift giver to plan their shopping. Remember, it's still dominated by women, 70-30. Make sure you set up a business account rather than a personal one. Keep business and personal separate. And I also, for Twitter, that also applies for Twitter. Definitely now in this political era, you want to keep, you know, politics out of your business social media accounts, because you do not want to alienate anybody, and people are easily alienated and offended. You don't want to go there. On Pinterest, you want to verify your website so it will track any pins from your site. So you can showcase your best pins. On top, pin everything from your shop. Enhance descriptions with keywords and hashtags. You get 500 characters in the descriptions for pins and boards. Use it. So you pin, let me go to the next slide here. So this unique gifts under $75. This is one of the boards for the savvy collector. She's she has an art gallery online. She's an art appraiser, and she takes a lot of pieces on consignment. And she also, she's got like different shops for different Arizona crafts and artisans, artists. This is one of my favorite accounts to set up. I just had a blast doing it, setting up all the boards for her. So there's one that's gifts for men, and you know, so showcase your best gift giving ideas on your website and the social networks. Gifts for men, gifts for kids, gifts for women. Create a board on Pinterest for each category, and it's okay to have one item in 2 different boards if they fit both categories. And what's great about Pinterest is it takes the link, the pin takes the link with it from your website. So this helps tremendously with SEO, because Google likes links. So, you know, so when somebody clicks twice on a pin, it goes back to the originating website, and that is huge. Instagram is owned by Facebook, and it's 99% mobile. So you've got to do everything on your mobile device. You can share pictures and videos. When you're setting up your account, make sure to add your website in your profile. And that's the only place on Instagram that you can put your web link without paying. Don't add your link to a post, as it will reduce your reach. Excuse me. Connect it to your Facebook business page and make it a business account and get insights and analytics. Okay, some things about Instagram. Each picture caption has 2,200 characters. Use them. Oops. Okay. And you're limited to 30 hashtags, and they will tell you when you've got 30 hashtags, so they won't let you share it. So again, think your hashtags out here. IGTV, Instagram TV, it's a separate app, but you can upload longer videos. Okay, so and it connects to your Instagram account, and people will see, you know, they'll see a preview of the video or the first few seconds of the video. And then if they're watching it, they can click on, and IGTV will pop up. Reels are brand new. These are short 3 to 15 second videos in your feed or in stories. Again, this is brand new, and you're seeing them a lot. Anything with movement, you know, anything animated catches the people's eyes more than a static picture. Okay, stories disappear in 24 hours. So keep that in mind. So like you do a video and the only place you do it is in stories in either Facebook or Instagram and it's gone, so upload videos everywhere. I'll talk a little bit more about videos in a minute. You can tag people, that's with their username for more exposure. And this picture is a sample of user-generated content. It's from Love Pop Cards. And so they took a picture of, them receiving the cards. So, and they tag Love Pop when they posted it to Instagram. So, you can use this content if, if you see people posting it, but you want to encourage your happy customers to do this. All right, Snapchat and TikTok. I haven't mentioned TikTok, but I'll get to that in a second. So Snapchat is for the younger audience, under 25. If you're reaching Gen Z, they're short video mobile apps. TikTok is run by China, and they're using it to spy on us. I would delete it until it's bought by an American company. And there's a big political thing on Trump wanting to shut down TikTok and WhatsApp because of that. I would just stay out of it. People are saying, oh, but no. Snapchat has been around longer than TikTok. So if you want to reach the younger generation, Snapchat is where to go, and Instagram. And there are new apps and social networks to compete with these all the time. You don't have to be on all of them. Again, you have to go back to who is your target market and where they're on and which networks do they prefer, do they frequent the most. Okay, let's talk about content. All right, enticing graphics. You want to change your social media cover graphics to reflect the holidays. And I would do this like now because people, again, it's all starting in October now. So keep an eye on your competition to see when they've switched over to the holiday mode. Create enticing graphics for ads and promotions. And you need to stand out above all other posts, not just your competition. So use only sharp quality graphics and videos. This is not the time to be cheap or lazy. For instance, videos and animated GIFs are more eye-catching than static still photographs. Again, I like Canva. It's a free graphics tool, and they have all templates you need. You can buy some graphics, but I upload my own, or I go over to Pixabay, which is a free. They have free use graphics. Okay, it's really important that you make sure that any graphics that you use are licensed for commercial use, and all the ones that are on Pixabay are. And there are other sites out there. Don't just go to Google Images and just grab pictures because you'll get in trouble. Brand your pictures with your logo or your web address. Go for nostalgia and comfort. Diversify people in your pictures. Okay, videos. They're more eye-catching than still photographs. Have fun with them. Not all videos need to be professionally done. Okay, you might want to do one professional video, like a commercial for your store, and have it done professionally and edited professionally as kind of your own commercial. Okay, yeah. But anything else you might want to do, you can just do it with your phone, or do it with a tablet. I would invest in a tripod. And now they automatically come with a clamp for the phone, so you can set it up, and do impromptu casual videos with greetings and messages. Explain your benefits in the first 15 seconds because you want to do some storytelling. Tell stories of happy camper customers that have used your products or your services. Explain your benefits in the first 15 seconds. Make sure they're eye-catching. Again, nostalgia and comfort. That is huge right now. Customer testimonials, and then user-generated content that I've mentioned before. And upload them everywhere. So YouTube, Instagram, and then IGTV or Instagram Reels, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. And then embed them in your blog. Most of the e-commerce sites allow you to have a blog, and I highly recommend that because you can write different ways to use your product, different ideas that come from, contact your happy camper customers to see, if they've sent you some of this user-generated content, of them using your products, you want to showcase that. And I can't say this enough, optimize, optimize, optimize. So each network has its own internal search engine. So you need to, you've got to use keyword-centric descriptions of what you have to offer. So if you're a jewelry store, so you got to put all the words in there, not just, high quality jewelry at affordable prices. Okay, that doesn't tell me anything. That doesn't tell the search engine anything. Okay, you want necklaces, you want bracelets, earrings, sets, gifts for women, gifts if you have men's jewelry, gifts for men. So get as specific as possible in your descriptions for your bios. If you've got your shops set up. On Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest, your bios are short. They're only like about 160 characters. Again, you want to be keyword specific, but you don't have much space to do much. Facebook gives you a lot of space, as does LinkedIn, so take advantage of it. You need to be found when people are searching for what you have to offer. Okay, paid advertising. And okay, so this is going to be a weird holiday season, so it's like anything goes with this year. But budget some ad spending dollars. Face it, you might have to spend some money to increase your reach, especially if you're in a highly competitive field. Anything health and wellness is ridiculously competitive. That's why the research is important. But what's nice about digital advertising is just with a little investment, you can reach a lot of people. So here are some options. We have Google Ads, okay? Social media paid advertising. All of the networks have offer this. That's how they make money. And the thing is you can target, you can pinpoint exactly who your target market is by age, geographic location, all details, income levels, et cetera. Then there's paid advertising on popular websites that your target frequents. There's tons of mom bloggers out there. If you're trying to reach, mom bloggers with gifts for kids, just do a search and find the ones. And there's some of them that got, 1 million followers on Twitter. It's crazy, but they're very popular. So that again is part of your research as to where you're gonna find these. Test to see with $100 which works for you. For instance, spend $25 in 4 different places with a message like get a jump start on your holiday gift shopping, and then see which one gives you the best results, and then stick with the one that really works. I tried that for one of my clients. I did Facebook, I did LinkedIn, I did Twitter. Facebook was the one that brought us the most results. So I'm like, well, forget the other guys. I'm going to stick with Facebook. So you don't want to waste your money elsewhere. But again, look at your competition. Where are they spending money? How are you going to stand out? How are you going to reach his gift giver? A hint on doing paid ads. My client, the Savvy Collector, was doing paid ads on Pinterest. But she was advertising just advertising one piece. Once that piece was sold, because they're unique, she had a problem. So the ad would still be running, but it would show that it was sold out. The key is to advertise the category and lead people to a section or a sub shop within your site rather than one piece. So she advertised unique gifts for men, and then it went to that boutique within her e-commerce store. Some of the networks have geo-tagging, so your research may reveal that people in certain geographic areas may be more interested in your products than others. Like you can still sell sandals in Phoenix, but they're not going to go very well in October in New York, so boots will, so again, you've got to keep that into consideration. And each of the networks have specialists that all they do is help businesses optimize and place their ads. And they know their networks better than anybody else. And if you can use an agency if you want to, but they will they cost money, so, and the network ad departments don't, so they don't charge you extra for their service and help. I've used the Facebook one before and they're fantastic. And sometimes you put an ad and they reject it. Okay, why are they rejecting it? And you'll say, well, everything looks okay. I'm not, offending anybody, but some one little word, it'll get rejected. So then you'll just go through their ad department. And it's like, oh, okay, no problem. I'll change that. So it's sometimes it's easy enough. Again, optimized. Add the Facebook pixel to your site. I'm going to speed up since I'm getting out of time here. Make sure your website's set up for mobile. Connected to Pinterest, again, keyword-centric descriptions, and do organic posts, not just the paid advertising. Walmart Marketplace, okay, they launched Walmart Plus in September 15th in a direct competition with Amazon Prime. So your products would be on walmart.com. You need to apply as a seller at marketplace.walmart.com. But they only accept reputable sellers with a strong history of meeting customer expectations. So if you're brand spanking new, you're probably not going to get in. But if you've had your store up for a while and you haven't had many customer problems, then you can, you should be able to get into Walmart. But they're directly competing with Amazon. Timing your campaigns right now. Optimize everything. Create graphics and content. Amazon Prime Days moved to October 13th and 14th. So if you sell products on Amazon, make sure those are optimized. Everything is optimized so your stuff comes up. And they're doing special pushes to promote small businesses. I saw an ad for it yesterday. So they're really pushing this. Prime Day, Prime Day, Prime Day. If you're not set up on Amazon, you should be able to get set up within a couple of hours. So do that immediately if you want to take advantage of Prime Days. And something to note, the closer you get to a key holiday, the higher the ad costs are likely to be. And that's a whole other session on pricing ads and so forth. But sometimes you're bidding. And again, the more competitive you are, the more expensive it's going to be. Customer experience. Make sure your website and social media, that your branding is consistent, that it's easy to use, that your navigation makes sense, and all your information is transparent. So, which that includes your shopping cart and checkout, quick and uncomplicated, and that it's secure. If people don't see that little lock on there, they're going to split. And now the browsers tell you not secure, they're going to go. Fulfillment, processing, shipping. What's called the last mile, which is final delivery or pickup. And then how are you going to handle returns? So that's important, needs to be set up. So your strategy are your SMART goals. You're going to want to create content to draw people that's of interest of your target market. Again, this could be videos, blogs, pictures, graphics, podcasts, everything. Share them on social media, and then make sure that your calls to action on your website are there and easy to find. Don't make people hunt for what you want them to do. That's really, really important. A tactical plan, all it is your to-do list. So it's what you're going to do when and where and how. So post daily, but don't overdo it. You don't want to look spammy. Throw in some non-promotional educational content also. Vary it. There's several schedulers that you can use free to post out during the day. And then look at your analytics and insights to determine when the optimum time to post is to get the most reach. Analytics, very important. So make sure you have a Google Analytics account set up. It could be all, it's all tied in with your Google account, and that the code is on your website. If you're working with an e-commerce site like Shopify, Etsy, or whatever, they have a place for you to put that in there so you can track. This is very important because you can track where people are coming from. And on Facebook and Twitter, you need at least 100 likes so the people and followers so they can be analyzed. So that's something you have to build first. On Twitter, you have to turn on your analytics. So you need to grow your following and make sure you're reaching your target market. So your analytics will tell you, okay, oh, these are the people, these are my fans, okay? So this is my target market. Is that my target market? Like, oh, wait a minute, my fans aren't my target market, so I've got to adjust what you're doing. So quickly, define your target market's personas. Research your target market and competition. Set SMART goals. Develop strategic and tactical plans. Write them down. Write them down. Make sure your website and social and everything are optimized for SEO and branded consistently. Share content organically daily. Engage and build a following and drive visitors to your site. Grow an email list with the right call to action and marketing automation. I didn't get into detail about that because that, again, is a whole other class. But it's important that, not everybody is ready to buy, when they land on your site. There's people that are going to shop around. They're going to compare. But you want to, like even doing simply, sign up for our email list and get $10 off your first order. Something as simple as that, just to get their name and their email address, and then you can market to them. And make sure your analytics are set up. And wow, I did this in record time. I'm sorry if I talk too fast. I'm a Puerto Rican New Yorker.
Thank you, Giselle. We appreciate it. You were talking fast, but I understood everything. So great job. We have a few questions, and we're a little over on time, but let's go ahead and answer some of these questions real quick.
Okay.
Michelle asked, are hashtags political?
They can be. Anybody, hashtag whole life 180 is not a political hashtag. Hashtag Democrat, hashtag GOP, that is political, but regular everyday hashtags, like even Monday motivation or Wednesday wisdom, those aren't political, but you'll see political posts within them. People take advantage of them, but not all hashtags are political, no.
Okay. And then David asked about how would you allocate a social media budget? I think you answered that by doing your test with the $100. So
right. And then, because if you haven't done it before, you really don't know which network's going to work for you. So again, based on your research, just test 4 networks of $25 each for a week and see see what the results are. Whichever one brings you better results, then you can spend a little more money there. And you set the budget. You set the budget and you figure it out. So that's one thing that you need to figure out with either somebody from the ACA, from the SBDC, or SCORE that can help you figure out what your customer acquisition costs are. So you have an idea of how much you can spend. But that's it. Just start with $100 and see, now in October is a good time to do it, as things will start ramping up in November and, till mid-December.
Sarah has a good question. It might be a little long, but we want to go ahead and take it. It says, do you have suggestions for help with Shopify? There's no longer customer or technical support, only prompts to visit their YouTube channel and community forums to troubleshoot and learn about program features and how. So any local recommendations can help with their Shopify store?